Hi, Jen. Good morning.
Good morning, Justine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Well, I just wanted to invite you on to introduce you to our online community. This is Jenn Prince, and we met through the virtual world of Instagram, and it's been quite a journey we've had together. Yeah, I would just love to give you this time to introduce yourself and share with the community what you do and how they can contact you. Yeah, everyone I've asked how they got on their plant path and yeah, what they have to offer today. And I'd love to hear how you ended up in the Herbalist Collaborative.
Thank you. I think I'll start with that last question because it's so interesting.
Okay.
I did find you on Instagram, and actually, before I even found you on Instagram, I had been Googling, herbal groups in the Northeast and in New England because I'm in New England, and your name had come up, and then I saw you on Instagram, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and I decided to kind of reach out and just message you because I thought you were on the South Shore of Massachusetts, but I wasn't entirely sure. And we just started talking, right? And the synchronicities were so amazing. We decided to get on Zoom and just start chatting and realized we had a lot in common. And a lot of the things that I wanted to learn, you were working on, and some things that you were interested in learning, I had to offer too. So it ended up being, in my opinion, a great partnership. And I've just loved the collaborative so far. It's been really cool.
Yeah, likewise. It's such a mutual friendship.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so I own My Magical Muse. It is an apothecary in New England. It's a small batch apothecary. I do like making medicine. I make it for myself and family, primarily, and friends. I do have an Etsy store, although it's on vacation mode right now because I'm actually going through a rebrand, which I'll get into because I do work full time in my day life. I'm a marketing person. So that has actually worked back into the Herbalist Collaborative, which I'll get to in a minute. But I started my herbal journey like 20 years ago when I was in college, and I met a girl who was studying homeopathy. And I was there for environmental science. Just really wanted to get into the natural world. I always felt very connected to it. I've camped since I was weeks old. And, I just really, I've always felt a connection with the plants, the trees, the animals. It's been my safe space. And so when she introduced me to homeopathy, I had no idea what it was, but I was very curious. And that just started my journey into diving into books and reading. And then I'm like, oh, wow, we can make our own medicine. How cool is that? We can forage for our own plants. Wow, I can literally take a peppermint leaf off the plant and I can just, eat it. That's kind of cool. So I just really started to explore for maybe probably 5 years, trial and error. And I remember being in my parents' three-season porch and just having jars of like oils and tinctures lined up on their porch on their windowsills. And again, just sort of trial and error, looking at different techniques and how everybody else made the medicine, books upon books upon books. And that's kind of where I started, is just studying it for my own personal use. And then I took a little bit of a hiatus. I feel like sometimes, life happens, life gets in the way, and we have to balance family and work. And again, working full time and going to school, going to grad school. So I took a little bit of time where I wasn't really making medicine or doing a lot of studying, but I was just more working with supplements and going to my local apothecary and getting dried herbs and supplements and tinctures and whatnot that I was using for myself. And did that for several years. But then during COVID, I kind of returned to myself in a really interesting way. I actually had a pretty significant loss in my life during COVID. And in order to kind of come to terms with it and to really process it, I turned back to the plants. I turned back to the herbs. And I kind of, through that process, learned a lot about my authentic self, my journey. It became a healing journey because I learned how to turn pain into passion. And I said, I need a creative outlet. I need a way to transmute this energy that I was feeling. And so the one thing that I've always been able to turn to was the natural world. So I decided to, bring my apothecary back to life, and I just dove right into it. And it became really something that I didn't even realize I was quite so passionate about until then. And it just started taking off. I started diving into it. I actually took a Rosemary Gladstar's, the Science and Art of Herbalism class. I'm almost done with that one. I joined your certification program, which I've absolutely loved. And I just started making it more of a business, but also just more of a passion project. And it has been such an experiment. And I really enjoy working with the plants, growing them. Although I'm not necessarily the best grower, but I try really hard. I decided that if I focus on a few and do that really well, then I'm better off having a whole garden. So we're getting used to each other. But making the oils and the tinctures, and my Etsy store was super fun to launch, and also mixing teas and tea blends. And then I discovered teaching. I didn't even realize that I was a teacher, but I really enjoy teaching workshops. So I've been doing intuitive tea blending workshops and other kinds of workshops, and then kind of coaching other people. And then through this process, I actually became acquainted with Herbal Entrepreneur on the more business side, and spoke at the Herbal Entrepreneur Conference because I am a marketing person. I've been in marketing for almost 25 years, and Yolanda and I had chatted about that. So that was where my passion for herbs and my passion for marketing kind of collided.
Mm.
And I realized that there was a niche that was needed, that there are a lot of herbalists, wonderful, wonderful herbalists who are trying to get started in the herbal business that needed some marketing coaching. And since I had just come through this whole journey of healing from something that was really difficult, and kind of tapping into and really discovering my authentic self, and how to strip away all the things that no longer serve me, and strip away all the parts of me that I've outgrown, and really tap into that. I've really discovered that other people, are looking for that too. And I kind of became a marketing coach for herbalists, but really focusing on brand identity,
Mm.
how to, take who you are and discover that brand, that authentic self, and then explore that and put that into the world, as we are healers and herbalists. So it's been such an interesting journey, because now I'm speaking at conferences on herbalism as well as on marketing. And I never thought that those two worlds were going to collide. I really didn't. I thought my work world was my work world, and did not talk about herbs, and my herb world was different. And now they're all just mixing and matching, and it's actually been pretty fun. So I really love working with the plants. I've started, recording videos and foraging in the woods, to kind of gather my own plants. I worked a lot with white pine last year. It became one of my plant allies. Um, and then I have a lot of things planned for next year too, as far as classes and online classes. And right now I've been taking a break and just kind of gearing up to work with that. And then I discovered the Herbalist Collaborative, and we have all kinds of cool stuff going on. We just finished our 6-month certification program. We have another one starting in November. We have new people joining, and it's growing, and the synergy in that group is awesome. So that's kind of what brought me here.
Mm.
Um, Hopefully that helps.
That's great. Yeah, it's so nice to hear the whole story. Um, and yeah, it's the synchronicities that you talk about. I just was reflecting on how probably a year before, or maybe even two, like right when I started Healer's Harvest, I thought, God, I really need like an herbalist friend who also does marketing. I really need that. And then like lo and behold, it took a little while, but there you are. You reached out to me and we scheduled a Zoom call, and that's when I learned you did marketing, and I was like, oh my God, I love when like the universe provides
And
exactly what you're looking for.
absolutely. And it's so funny because when I messaged you, I wasn't even 100% sure if you were in Massachusetts. I was like, I think this is the same person. And then, like you said, we hopped on Zoom, and it was just like an immediate connection, immediate partnership, I think. Because,
Absolutely.
yeah. And
I
it's funny when you say, it's nice to hear the whole story, because I think that that's the most important part of marketing, is having the opportunity to tell your story.
Yeah.
Telling your story. And I feel like so many people can relate to the stories that we tell, and how we got from one place to another. And it brings a lot of context to your message and to your brand identity. So for me, it took a little bit for me to feel comfortable opening up about my story and who I am, and who I am authentically, and where I come from, and just sort of my background and how I got here. And I feel like sometimes that feels vulnerable, because it is, but the more I talk about it, the more I realize that other people can relate, and we all have our story. And that's what makes it so rich. Like,
Yeah.
that's what makes us all so unique, and our business is so interesting. And I think that, as herbalists, we're so passionate about what we do that, and I talk about this in the Herbalist Collaborative too, we're so passionate about what we do that marketing our business is no different than talking about who we are and what we truly believe.
Right.
So it's really just an extension. It's a step away from it. It's just one step in the different direction. It's not like coming up with an identity to market. It is you. It is who you are and marketing that passion, which is
Yeah.
what people are drawn to, So I really get into it and get inspired by it.
I love that so much. And it's affirming for me because when I started Healer's Harvest, I guess I used to just be somebody who felt like I was easily overwhelmed. And the idea of like starting a business was like going to always just be way more than I could handle. And I took these baby steps and I decided like, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to create something that feels manageable for me. And instead of trying to create, what it should be or what you think it needs to look like compared to everyone else's and whatever, I just like honored myself by creating a space that I felt like I could comfortably hold, and in that way I felt like you and I had such similar philosophies about how to um show up in your business, and it was really affirming to hear that from you as somebody who's like a marketing expert, and it's like, okay, cool, I'm doing all right over here. But it really has worked, I've been able to grow because I'm not trying to be something I'm not, like I'm offering what I have authentically and honestly. I'm not sharing anything that isn't true to me, you know what I mean? And so that's easy. Like I can manage that. But when you're trying to sell stuff and, it's like it can just get out of control.
That's one thing I really very quickly realized that people were just feeling intimidated by the concept of marketing and it's overwhelming and how do I do it? I don't want to do it wrong. And I
Mhm.
was like, well, wait a minute, like, but it's really we're so passionate about what we do that it really is about us sharing ourselves. And I think we spent a whole session on the Herbalist Collaborative talking about the concept of the two schools of thought. Of we typically learn in marketing to identify your target market, demographics, age range, income, all that stuff, and then craft your message to that target. And
Right.
that's one school of thought. But the way I look at it is not for us, because if we are passionate about what we do and we know who we are and what we stand for as herbalists and in our own individual businesses, because we're all different, then the people that are really our true targets are going to be drawn to us. They're going to be
Yeah.
drawn to our energy. They're going to be drawn to our message and what we stand for. So I kind of like that better. It's easier. It's less cumbersome. It's less intimidating.
Yeah.
And you can't do it wrong because it's you. I mean, obviously, there's certain things you probably don't want to say online or whatnot. And there's a way to kind of craft your message and make it work for you. But that's kind of what I try to work with people on as a coach is how to set up their landing page, how to craft their message, what's going to resonate. Does it sound too complicated from the outside looking in? Like, how can we simplify it and strip away all the things that don't feel right, that don't feel authentic, and
Mhm.
really just bring it down to the basics, really, and then start there and have that be your launching pad, and then from there you can start and you can build from anything.
Right.
You can start with this one concept, this beautiful one message, and then you can build on it. So it's
Yeah.
been a lot of fun. And then of course we get to play with the herbs and we get to, work with that. And I just think it's a it's a synergy I didn't expect to receive, but I'm so grateful that I have.
Yeah, totally. And something that you've talked about is like, then all we need to do is like share what we're doing throughout the day. And that's marketing.
It's true. It really is. It's like that's the thing is that we're making medicine. Let's set up a video camera. Just
Yeah.
get a tripod and set up your camera and start recording it. It's literally what you do every day,
Yeah.
who you are, and just sharing it with the world and sharing your own unique perspective of it. That's one thing that the collaborative actually did for me is it kind of introduced me to the doctrine of signatures,
Mhm.
from a play perspective, how you show up in the world. And for some reason, that just really resonates with me. And I've been really kind of taking that and running with it. And I'm going to be doing some more with it in the coming year. But learning our unique talents through working with each other, working with the plants, and kind of doing that deep dive. It's been a lot of fun. I really feel grateful to have found the group.
Oh, yeah, totally. We're so happy to have you. And you bring so much intuition and creativity and really strong connection with the plants, which I really value. And also just wanted to touch on, the ways we've worked together, which is one, when we first met, I basically immediately invited you to collaborate. And so Jen, you were you were leading the strategic marketing forum is what we called it. And you kind of led us through your marketing philosophy and kind of gave us the skills to start building on our own brand. And that was lovely. Everybody got so much from that. It's amazing. And even we actually have some of that recorded in our private online group. And one of the new members was able to recently watch it and was like, I don't know if you saw that comment, but she was so grateful for that video.
Oh,
So I love,
congratulations. I'm so excited.
yeah, I love that. And so yeah, that was wonderful. And then that sort of for me going into the second year and still wanting to collaborate, I realized like what I really, really need help with is executing these marketing strategies and just somebody holding my hand, walking me through it. And it's like, none of it is like so profoundly difficult, but it's very easy to get overwhelmed for me anyway. And so just now we're connecting once a week or every other week, and you're walking me through this marketing strategy, and it's been so helpful. And I love that you're enjoying that because I'm enjoying it, and it's just taking me leaps and bounds to like my marketing just marketing in general. Like that one's a tough one for me, so I'm really grateful for that. And then also wanted to mention that we're going to be co-teaching a workshop or a speaking engagement anyway in New Hampshire in April of 2024. That's the Holistic Spa Alliance, which will be really fun again to collaborate, and that's going to be more about holistic living and running your business in a holistic way. So fun ways that we're working together, and I just look forward to all the things, and so glad that you're part of this community.
Oh, thank you so much. And I've seen your strategy really streamlined. Your website looks great. You're doing more on social media, and you glow. Like I can see it in your posts. I hear it in your posts, and just how much you're enjoying what you do, and it's really starting to come through. So I'm really so proud, and I'm so grateful to have found you and the rest of the group too. And I'm excited for the conference in April. That's
Yeah.
going to be very cool. We get to co-present and speak, and it's just something that I've learned I really love to do. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it too, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then we can't forget Gather, which is also going to be coming up in
Oh,
2024, which is a whole
yes.
other thing, but it's just so exciting that we get to continue to work together, which we've talked about with B is the herbal conference that we're going to be putting together for June of 2024, and you're like so crucial for our group.
Uh,
The
Thank you.
marketing
That
act.
reminds me, anybody who's interested in learning about the conference, there's only 3 posts out there right now, but on Instagram, gather.herbal. That is about the conference that Justine just mentioned. June 2024, we're going to be hosting it through the Herbalist Collaborative. Super excited. We're putting all our ducks in a row. I'm going to be managing the social media on it. And yeah, that is going to be pretty epic.
I know, so much to look forward to.
I know. I know. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this has been a great conversation. And is there anything else that you want to say, or do you want people to be able to contact you or know what it is you're available for right now? Just go ahead and share that. But otherwise, I'll definitely post it all on Instagram and share that with you as well.
Sure, thank you. My Instagram is my_magical_muse. I also have the same on TikTok. I'm working on my Etsy store, so it's kind of on vacation mode right now. I am going to be working on a website in the next year, so that will be up and running soon. But feel free to connect with me, even through email, mymagicalmuse@gmail.com. I'd love to work with anybody who's interested, either on marketing coaching or herbalists. Herbalism. I do work with people in that regard as well. I'm still building, my repertoire. I am going to be doing workshops and like Zoom online workshops for herbs as well as marketing in the coming year. So a lot to look at and think about and participate in. I'm probably just going to do some pop-up stuff. I'm hoping to have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, more to come on that.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too.